Hello everybody, my name is Aaron Alsop, and today I'd like to show you how to properly set up and balance a Glidecam HD2000 with a DSLR on it. The first thing is obviously getting the camera on there. I've got a Manfrotto base plate on my Glidecam, and I do that just because it makes putting the camera on and off a lot easier, along with being able to take it off and putting it on any of the Manfrotto tripods I have. Now, the camera I have right here is the Canon 7D with a Rokinon 14mm lens on it. I prefer using primes when using a Glidecam over zoom lenses like the 24-70, and that's mainly just because when you're at 24 on the 24-70, you'll see that the lens comes out, and now that it's a lot farther out, it adds a little more weight this way, and so you've got to counterbalance it, and it just makes it a lot harder than the 14mm. So anyways, once you've got the lens on here, you want to make sure that the camera and the lens, I should say, that the bottom weights here is first off aligned with the camera this way. As you can see, some people, run their Glidecams like this, but I've found that it's a lot easier and works the way it's meant to work if you have the camera and the weights running parallel. So after you kind of get things lined up, what you're going to want to do is position the weights, and you'll want to tighten it up. And this kind of goes just trial and error. I forgot to mention I've actually got the Glidecam right now on just a simple light stand. If you don't have a light stand, you can be doing this all yourself. Sometimes I prefer to do it that way. But also sometimes it's just a lot easier. You can put it on a light stand like this and just kind of makes things easier. So you'll kind of align it like this, and you're going to drop it. And what you want is when the time it takes from the weights here to get to here to be about 2 seconds. And they found that just that 2-second window of time, for some reason, is a good measure of making sure it's balanced. So we'll just try it now. 1/1000. Nope, that was obviously way too quick. So what we're going to want to do is we want to make sure that we slide this up closer, and we'll try it again. 1/1000, 2/1000, 3/1000. So that was a little bit closer, but we could see that it wasn't that 2 seconds, so we'll just drop it a bit. 1/1000, 2/1000. There we go. We've got it at 2000. But, when I was tightening it, obviously I didn't get that lined up, so I'm just going to kind of get that lined up. Sometimes you've got to, and as you can see, this is kind of why I like doing it with a light stand. I have both my hands open, free, whereas if I didn't, it'd be kind of difficult because I'd be doing it with one hand. Okay, so let's just double check, we've still got it at 2 seconds, 1/1000, 2/1000, awesome. So now what we want to do is we want to make sure that when I let go of it here, it's going to stay perfectly balanced and not going to move around. Okay, so obviously it's still kind of camera front heavy. Now there's different ways you can adjust the weights. You can adjust the weights here by adding more weights, either the front or the back. You can also kind of move this around so you can see that better. You can also right here unscrew this and either bring the weights forward or back. And you can do that with the front weight too. Also, right here, you can either move this top carriage forward by just screwing this forward, or unscrewing it and brings it back. And then they also have weights on the side here that moves it left and right, the same screw that moves the carriage left and right, and these weights as well. So the first thing that I like to do is I like to start out trying to use these. So I'm going to just kind of move this forward. Okay, so obviously it's still very, back heavy. And so I'm going to take the bottom one and move this as far forward as possible. Okay. Still back heavy, so I'm going to move the back ones kind of closer up. Okay. Now as you can see, it's getting almost a bit closer there. So I'll just tighten those up. And then right here, this back screw, I'll just kind of bring that tighter to move this front carriage forward. Okay. Now, it may be hard to see for you, but you know, you can look, I can see here that it's a little, you know, tilting forward, so I'm just going to make a quick minor adjustment. So sometimes it is nice to kind of just get down and look at it. Once again, you know, this is a good reason why you want to use a light stand. Okay. Then I'm going to look at it from this angle. Actually, I'll kind of move it here so you guys can see that better. And we'll see how balanced it is on this way. Now, it is leaning a bit to the left. So what I'm going to do is this screw right here on the side of the carriage. I'm just going to make a quick minor adjustment so it moves the carriage over to the right, kind of centers the weight out a bit. Okay. And just going to do a little bit more. Okay. So I'd like to, you know, that looks pretty balanced. And of course, you know, what test is not complete with the ever popular, you know, moving it from side to side. And, you know, it's really balanced. So once again, the steps that I like to do is I like to first obviously put the camera on here, make sure it's got the 2-second drop, 1/1000, 2/1000. Move the bottom weights forward and back depending on it, and then using the screws up here and here on the side for those very small balancing acts. If you got any more questions about the Glidecam and how to balance it, just leave a comment below. I'll try and get back to them, or if there's enough questions about a topic, I'll make another video about them.